Hello, welcome to Infinite Prattle. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the thing about giving gifts and receiving gifts and the whole gift-giving fiasco of Christmas and birthdays and what that really means to everyone.
Hello and welcome to
Infinite Prattle!
unscripted, unedited prattle on everything, hosted by me, Stephen. Listen, like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy the show.
Welcome. Thank you very much for joining me. Apologies, this episode's late today. I have been working over Christmas. I hope you've had a lovely Christmas. By the way, I've been working, as I think I said in the last episode. I've just completely, as you do around Christmas time, completely lost track of what day it is, who I am, etc. And I woke up today with the intention of recording a podcast, and just completely got distracted. And I thought it was Saturday, and thought, oh, it's fine. So it's just dropped out of my brain. And just before I was eating my tea a couple of hours ago, I was like, oh, I haven't done my podcast. Well, it's late now, so because that was about 6:30, I think, when I realised, and it's about 8 o'clock as I'm recording this. So apologies. But thank you for joining me. Thank you for your patience and joining me. I hope you've had a lovely Christmas yourselves. Going into the new year this week. Not many episodes left of Infinite Prattle. There's only going to be a couple of episodes to go before the end of Series 5, which is amazing. So thank you for everyone that stuck with me through 5 whole series of this show. I'm working on some stuff for the next season. I always say this, I know I do, but I'm really trying to work hard to get myself organised and trying to do the things I'm going to say I'm going to do, and not make too many promises. But I have some ideas about how to manage Season 6, so stay with me, and I'll tell you about that probably on social media. And I'm going to try and do a few more vlogs, and I'm going to try and do some video podcasts as well, definitely in Season 6, if not the whole thing. Let's see how organised I am between now and the start of Season 6. Anywho, the topic for today is, I think, just about giving gifts, really, and the whole idea of feeling the need to give a gift. Because I think it's kind of lost on me, and I don't mean to sound like a Scrooge or mean person or mean-spirited or just stingy, basically. I just think that it's kind of lost something where everyone just feels obliged to get someone something, no matter what it is, no matter kind of how crap it is or useless it is. And and I feel like I'm going to come across badly today. I feel like I'm going to come across as like an absolute arsehole. But I love Christmas, I love birthdays, and I love receiving gifts. I love giving gifts, but I think there's got to be a purpose to it, and I think there's got to be some meaning to the gift you're giving, or you've got to understand the person that you're giving the gift to, whether they actually would want to receive that, or whether they appreciate that, or whether that would put pressure on them to get you a gift back. Because I think then it becomes, for me, it would then become kind of pointless as to why you're doing it in the first place. So anyway, strip it right back. Let's strip it right back. So, in the UK, generally the time you give gifts is probably like most places around the world. So I'm just going to adjust my microphone. I'm not organised at all today, so I apologise. So in the UK, birthdays and Christmas are the big gift giving times. We also have Mother's Day and Father's Day, where you give your parents presents. Christenings are a little bit of less of a thing, but there's some traditional things that you would buy someone at a christening, and I think that's pretty much it. I can't think off the top of my head any other time, apart from Easter maybe, where Easter eggs are a thing in the UK, and probably again around the world, as it's become probably more commercialized. And that's the thing, isn't it? Commercialism drives everything. But I think when I was a kid, I think I've touched on this in the show before. Whereas when I was a kid, birthday presents, Christmas presents, and stuff were, and treats throughout the year in general were based on behaviour, were based on money. My mum and dad didn't put themselves in debt to buy us stuff. They saved up and they did what they could. And I was not spoiled. I was also not, mistreated. Like that, I got some amazing gifts when I was a kid, but I wasn't. I wouldn't say I was spoiled. I was always, as a kid, you're always wanting more. As an adult, you're always wanting more. But if I asked for something, I would either have to sacrifice something to get that, or there was a compromise. And sometimes, if it wasn't something out of the realms of potential for my parents, then um, I would maybe get a good gift one year, then my brother would get a good gift the next year, and so we took it in kind of turns to get like a big expensive present, rather than us both. And I think that's good because it teaches you a little bit of like humility, and it teaches you a bit about value and how you've got to work for things. Um, my parents definitely did um, make me work for any presents I got and any pocket money. I did an episode on chores. I think it this season or the end of last season, um, about how go and listen to it obviously, but how I worked bloody hard for the money I got, and I didn't really get pocket money, but then it wasn't like withheld from me neither. But I had to behave myself and do some little jobs around the house. So it's one of them things where I I kind of understand the value of money, and I was always giving people presents. I was drawn into that whole you must get everyone a present kind of thing. No matter how small, make that gesture of a present. And I think the older and older I got, especially when you have to buy the presents yourself. And again, I'm not saying I'm a Scrooge, but it kind of makes you think that someone buys you something, and then you buy someone else something. I was kind of thinking, well, they knew they wanted that thing. They could have just bought it themselves. They knew I wanted that thing. I could have just bought it myself to save the stress of buying each other presents. I just feel like it's just too much of a, um, I don't know, it's too much of a hassle to do it that way. And I've always been very much a social person. Like, as you can tell, like I do like talking, infinite prattle and all that, and even the original podcast called Stephen Speak. It's all around. I do like chatting away. I do like my own quiet time. I can be an introvert when I when the mood takes me. I can be very introvert, but generally in the right situation, I'm quite extrovert, and I like to talk and lead a conversation and almost kind of be center of the storytelling. Not all the time. I like to hand the torch, but I love to listen as well. But I love to share stories and stuff like that. And I think that I appreciate that interaction more than someone giving me a present. So when I got a bit older, I think that the present giving wasn't as important to me as seeing my friends. So a lot of my friends, there's a couple of my close friends, we've never bought each other presents. Like very very few and far between. There's a couple of friends I've known since I was a toddler, and the present giving, I can probably on one handed say the presents I bought for both of them, and it was only like a big kind of birthdays when I've given maybe some money or some something I've seen. I thought, oh, they'll really appreciate that kind of thing, and that's how we've always done it. Like if you see something that you think the other person will really 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 appreciate, then a present's fine. If not, don't worry about it. Life moves on. A present's not vital, and I hope people feel like that from me. I don't want people to think that I'm a mean spirited person, but I carry the ethos. And if any of my friends are listening to this thinking I'm a dickhead, I carry the ethos as I would prefer to see your face and speak to you and socialize with you and see you regularly. And that £30 you would have spent on a present for me, put the petrol in your car, buy a train ticket, whatever, come and see me, or let's go for a meal, or whatever. And I think that's how I am with presents now. Like, I mean, me and my wife this year for Christmas, we didn't buy each other anything. Like, not a single thing. I was a little stressed thinking she might have bought me something, and then I wouldn't find anything because I literally it was hard for me not to buy her anything. Um, but yeah, literally we didn't do presents at all. And to my relief, she hadn't bought me anything at Christmas. Um, and it wasn't. I didn't miss it, if you know what I mean. Like we we do quite a lot of stuff together. We go out, we have meals out, and we go on jaunts. And I think it was a little bit of a pressure from her side, about money and the fact that we don't really need to do it. Like, we don't. We have pretty much everything we want. If we want something, we'll just get it throughout the year. And I think it was more like, instead of buying each other stuff that, we're pretty good. We kind of know what each other want, so it's not normally we buy each other. If I'm honest, I'm sure she'll be relieved to hear that. We can just buy the stuff ourselves. And I think it was the whole pressure of trying to wrap the presents up. And then obviously she's been in hospital as well, which doesn't help. She's fine. She's out of hospital now, but I think it was the whole pressure of her being in hospital and trying to find gifts, and she's not doing very well, and then wrapping them and trying to put them somewhere. And then we had wardrobes built and houses upside down. It still is, because I've been trying to paint them today, as I said. It's taken so long to paint them bloody wardrobes. It's ridiculous. I almost wish that I could have got him to like paint the wood as he was going. Even if it had taken like another 2 weeks, would have had to pay more money. It's been very annoying. Anyway, but yeah, and it's been kind of refreshing that me and Sarah didn't do presents this year. And she even told her mum and not to give us anything. Which I kind of miss, because Gail's a pretty good gift giver. But so the only people we've kept gifts on is my mate Scott, who I actually haven't bought him anything yet, because every time I go online to buy him a present, it's out of stock or on pre-order, and it gets delayed. I've been really struggling this year with Scott's presents, because his birthday is 4 days after mine, and it was the same for that. It was late getting him his present for his birthday, or nearly late. I think I actually give it on time, but I pre-ordered some stuff for him which was meant to arrive before his birthday, and they were both cancelled. And then right before Christmas, I was like, you know what? I saw something online, and I was like, you know what? Sod it. I'll go on that website, and I'll buy that thing. It just to give him something, because I know I'll like it. I'll give him the other stuff in the new year, because we're pretty good. We're into the same stuff, and I don't think we've ever bought each other anything that we already have, even though we buy each other our interests, which is pretty cool, really. And he always buys me something that I like, would probably not buy myself, and I hope I do the same thing for him. Yeah, and I think we kind of keep that up. Well, I wouldn't be bothered if we ever stop that, because my whole thing is I would definitely prefer to see him, rather than be pressurized into constantly worrying about whether what presents are we going to get each other. And I think that's something in the new world, the current world, and for quite a long time, people focus on presents rather than maybe the sentiment behind them. Not everyone, obviously, not everyone, but I think it's gone out of hand, about the demand on what children probably expect and what adults expect. And things are expensive. Like I see things on social media of children getting a disgusting amount of presents for Christmas. And things are expensive. Like, you see kids getting iPhones and iPads like at the same time, so that's like £2,000 worth of stuff potentially. £1,500 at the minimum, probably, if you buy the cheapest of each. And you just think to yourself, like, that's insane. And then they'll get clothes and other knickknacks and chocolates, and you just think that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I almost feel like that. I just feel like that if me and Sarah ever manage to have a child, that they're gonna kind of miss out in some sense on them big presents, because I don't think I'll do that. Maybe I'll feel different when I have a kid. Maybe it'll be like, oh, I'll want to give them everything and spoil them and sacrifice my own loves for that. But I feel like I won't. I feel like it'll have to be, managed like mine was. You can have a phone, within reason when you're old enough, but you're not getting it yet. And you're not getting £1,000 iPhone, or you're not getting £1,000 iPad. And if you do, you bloody gonna look after it. It's gonna have to last you 3 or 4 or 5 years, because that's something you can't change every year. Well, I suppose you can, but I'm not paying for that. And I just think that when I see people at Christmas getting all these things, I'm just like, wow, there's a lot of pressure there, and people put themselves in debt. Like people will put stuff on the credit card over Christmas, and then when that credit card comes in on in January, ooh, I feel like it's gonna hurt a lot of people. Um, but yeah, so my whole thing is don't buy me anything. I'd prefer to see your face. I would prefer to um see you. I would prefer the gift of you, and I think that's been my kind of ethos for a long time. I'm not sure how much I put that out there with my friends actually, thinking about it, because like even with my friends' children, I don't really buy them presents. I would prefer to see them, and finding time to see them is a big thing. I need to do that more in the new year, and so do they. To be fair, it works both ways. Relationships do, but I really need to see my friends' children more, and I need to see my friends more. To be honest, um, and I think I need to kind of practice what I preach on that front. Um, yeah, but even on that front, I don't really buy gifts. I would prefer to say, token gifts here and there. But children get so much. Like I remember when I was a kid, like I didn't get tons and tons and tons of stuff. I got plenty. But you can't even remember who got you what half the time. Let alone what some kids get now. It does scare me somewhat. Um, but yeah, I am very much of a give the gift of you. Let me see your face. Um, I want to interact with people. And it's kind of been nice that we didn't have all the waste this year of like throwing stuff in the bin after opening their presents. I mean, my mum always has to send a bloody package over from Ireland. I tell her not to, and she always has to send a few little knickknacks and stuff. I tell her not to because I am actually quite picky on things. Now this is gonna sound like I'm an arsehole. I am quite finicky on like knickknacks and stuff. If you saw this room, you wouldn't probably think so, but I am. Everyone's into their own things, aren't they? And everyone likes their own way. And I'm picky with quite a lot of stuff. Like I'm very, very general stuff, but I'm very picky in other things. I'm a very weird, odd guy, to be honest. Um, but each to their own, isn't it? At the end of the day, we've all got our own tastes. But my mum's, bless her, she always sends something across. She feels the need to, and it was nice what she sent. I think they've had a Timu Christmas in Northern Ireland. From what she said about my cousins and her, seems like every single gift has been something to do with Timu um, or maybe not all the presents, but a lot of them, by the sounds of it, have been from Timu. A couple of my gifts she got me was like a plectrum holder, which unfortunately is too small to hold any of my plectrums, but it's in the shape of a guitar, like an acoustic guitar, um, with a little stand. But I can't figure out how the stand's meant to work. It's a bit odd, really. And she bought me a mug with a guitar on it. Um, and sorry, mum, but you can tell they're from Timu. I'm sorry. I was being sarcastic with you on the phone the other day. I will use the cup though. I've got loads of cups. I'm quite fussy about cups. But I will use the cup. I'll probably take it to work and have it as a desk mug with a guitar on. But yeah, it's nice to get little gifts, and she always buys me. She always has to buy me chocolate orange stuff. Terry's chocolate orange is the best. Um, but yeah, it's nice to have little things, but um, I'd prefer to see her. If she lives in Ireland, I would prefer to see her. I'd prefer that however much money she spent on me was used to pop over and come and visit rather than send me a present. It costs a lot of money to send stuff though, doesn't it? And it went missing for 2 weeks as well. Like it was a well travelled parcel because apparently it came to England and then got sent back to Ireland before coming back here again. So God knows what went on with that parcel. But yeah, it's expensive, and I think that I don't know. I sound like a right twat. I'm not gonna lie, but I just think the whole present giving is, and at Easter there's just chocolate. I mean, there's Easter stuff in the shops now. Like we just even before Christmas had even happened, there was Easter eggs in our shops. Like that's ridiculous. Like calm yourself down. Let us get over this diabetic period before you start throwing more diabetic stuff our way. Um, and then yeah, I didn't really get loads of like Christmas eggs, Easter eggs. Halloween isn't really a thing when I was a kid neither, to be honest. It was always Christmas and birthdays were like the thing. Um, and then Mother's Day and Father's Day. Um, I've never really seen the point of them. I know I'm not a father yet, but I never really saw the point of them. Um, I just thought it was like an extra thing to even this is literally my view when I was a child as well. I was always thinking, why do you get an extra day? Because there's a there's like birthdays and Christmas. Like that's the time where I buy you something nice to say thank you and happy birthday. Or Christmas is like for me is like a here's a Christmas present. This is how much I love you kind of thing. Which is wrong to think that obviously because the love comes from like obviously being with a person, supporting them, and all that jazz, which is what I want from Christmas and birthdays. But you always kind of like pressured into buying a Mother's and Father's Day present, but never really saw the point. And I don't know if I become a father, I don't know whether I'd celebrate it. To be honest, I don't know whether I would be asked about it. Maybe I would. Maybe again, things change. You get older, situations change, and maybe when I become a father, I'll be a terrible terrible dad, and I'll demand Father's Day presents, and I'll demand that my child is spoiled to the nth degree. I can't see it though. I can't see it. So I think my message is consider consider the environment as well. All these fucking tap presents and wrapping paper. That's everyone bangs on about the environment. Why are we wrapping everything in paper when they're already wrapped? You know what I mean? Put it in a bag, reusable gift bag, bit of sellotape on top so they can't see in it. It's quicker to open, and there's no fucking excess waste. This is turning into a rant now. I better stop. What do you do at Christmas and birthdays? Do you celebrate Mother's and Father's Days? Do you celebrate Easter? Do you receive lots of presents? Do you like receiving presents? I mean, is that a silly question to say? Is that something that would be a kind of a moot point? Isn't that we already like receiving presents? I do get present anxiety though, giving and receiving. Yeah, let me know. Let me know in your comments, in my comments. Put them in the comments section, and I'd be interested to know what people think about just the whole act of giving a present, whether it's worthless or meaningful. Oh, weddings is another thing, isn't it? Weddings, wedding lists, ridiculous wedding lists. Anyway, I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna start going on, and I've been going far too long already. But yeah, just let me know what you think, and would you try what we did this year and not give each other presents? What would you think about that? Well, thank you very much for listening. Do what you need to do on social media. It'd be great if you follow me and give this a like. And go listen to some other episodes, Go right back to the beginning when it was Stephen Speak and try them episodes out. Give me some feedback. Let me know how you think of the show. Let me know how I can improve. Be nice. And I will speak to you all soon. And remember, keep on prattling.
You've been listening to
Infinite Prattle!
Thanks for listening. If you like this episode, go back and listen to some others. And please continue to listening. Your support is muchly appreciated. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care.